YTL. She asked him why he was still single. He almost said her name, Story. The reason he never said Marcus Elliott had exactly 3 rules for his life after divorce. Never miss his daughter's school events. Never mix business with emotion. And never, under any circumstances, fall for someone he couldn't afford to lose. He had broken all 3. He just hadn't admitted it yet. Carolina. Marcus was standing in the kitchen at 6:47 a.m., burning toast, packing a lunchbox, and simultaneously trying to remember if Lily had a science project due or a field trip permission slip, or both. "Dad!" Lily appeared in the doorway, 8 years old, wearing one pink sock and one purple one, her dark curls still wild from sleep. "You're burning it again." "I'm not burning it, I'm caramelizing it." She gave him the look, the exact same look her mother used to give him. It was unsettling how genetics worked. He scraped the toast, spread peanut butter over it anyway, and slid it across the counter. Lily climbed onto the bar stool and studied him with those 2 smart eyes of hers. "Is Claire coming today?" Marcus paused, just for a second, just long enough for Lily to notice. "She comes every Tuesday," he said carefully. "I know." Lily took a bite of toast. "I like when she comes." He didn't say anything to that. He just poured his coffee and stared out the window at the oak tree in the backyard, its leaves just beginning to turn gold. "I like when she comes too." That was the problem. Claire Hadley had been Lily's after-school caretaker for 14 months. She'd answered his ad on a local parenting forum. Responsible, experienced childcare provider available. References upon request. And shown up to the interview in a green sweater with a stack of books under her arm because she'd come straight from the library where she volunteered on weekends. She was 29. She had laugh lines already, the kind that came from actually laughing. She asked Lily what her favorite dinosaur was before she even sat down, and when Lily said Ankylosaurus, Claire said, "Excellent choice, underrated defensive capabilities," without missing a beat. Lily had looked at Marcus. Marcus had looked at his notes. He hired her on the spot and told himself it was purely professional. 14 months later, he was still telling himself that. Claire arrived at 3:15, right when the school bus dropped Lily off. Marcus worked from home on Tuesdays. He was an architect, and Tuesdays were his deep focus days. So he heard them come in. Heard Lily's excited chatter, heard Claire's warm laugh, heard the sound of backpacks being dropped and snacks being negotiated. He stayed in his office. He was very good at staying in his office on Tuesdays. At 5:30, there was a knock on his door. "She's done with homework," Claire said, leaning in the doorway. She was wearing a white blouse today, her dark hair pulled back, a smudge of what looked like marker on her wrist. "We did fractions. She's better at them than she thinks she is." "She gets that from me," Marcus said. "The math skills or the self-doubt." He looked up. She was smiling. He hated that smile. He relied on that smile more than he was comfortable admitting. "Both, probably," he said. She laughed softly, and he went back to his blueprints, and she went back to the living room, and that was how Tuesdays went. Perfectly normal, perfectly professional, perfectly unbearable. It was Lily who broke everything open. 3 weeks later, a Saturday, Marcus was picking Lily up from a birthday party at a classmate's house. The mom, Dana, friendly, always organizing something, caught him at the door with a glass of lemonade and the particular energy of someone who had been waiting to say something. "So," Dana said, "are you seeing anyone?" Marcus blinked. "No." "Interesting." She looked like she already knew that. "Because Claire mentioned—" "Claire? She was helping at the party today, didn't you know? She volunteers with the kids' literacy program and Jenna's in it, so—" Dana waved a hand. "Anyway, she mentioned you and I just thought, you two seem like you'd be good together." Marcus smiled the way he had learned to smile when people said things he didn't know how to respond to. Politely, carefully, like someone diffusing something. "We work together," he said. "Okay," Dana said in the tone of someone who meant sure you do. On the drive home, Lily was quiet for exactly 4 minutes. Then Emma's mom said you and Claire should go on a date. Emma's mom should mind her own business. "Why don't you have a girlfriend, Dad?" The question landed like a stone in still water. He felt the ripples move through his chest before he found words. "I've been focused on you," he said. Which was true, which was also not the whole truth. "But you could have both," Lily said. "Claire does lots of things at the same time. She reads and listens to music and drinks tea all at once." "That's different. How?" He didn't have an answer. He turned onto their street and was very grateful when she got distracted by a neighbor's new dog. That night, after Lily was asleep, Marcus sat on the back porch with a glass of water he wasn't drinking and thought about the question he hadn't answered. "Why don't you have a girlfriend?" The honest answer was simple and terrifying, because the person he wanted was someone he couldn't risk wanting, because Claire was woven into the fabric of his daughter's life, into the rhythm of their home, into the quiet Tuesdays and the laughs he heard through his office door. Because if he said something and it went wrong, he wouldn't just lose a possibility. He'd lose a person Lily depended on, a person he depended on, in ways he hadn't let himself fully examine. He was an architect. He understood load-bearing structures. He understood what happened when you removed something essential without a plan. He wasn't going to do that to Lily. He wasn't going to do that to himself again. He went to bed. He didn't sleep much. Claire arrived at 3:15, but at 4, Lily came to his office door instead of Claire. "Claire's crying," Lily said very quietly, like she was reporting something serious. "In the kitchen, she thinks I can't hear, but I can." Marcus set down his pen. He found Claire at the kitchen counter, not exactly crying, but close. The kind of not crying that takes visible effort. She was pretending to look at her phone. She straightened when she heard him. "Sorry," she said immediately. "I'm fine. It's nothing." Lily said, "I'm fine." She laughed, and it didn't reach anything. "Just got some news. Family stuff. I'll pull it together." He stood there. Every professional instinct told him to give her space, to go back to his office, to let her have the dignity of recovering alone. He didn't move. "Do you want to talk about it?" he asked. She looked at him for a moment, really looked at him. "My brother's moving," she said finally, "to Seattle. He's the last one close by. And I know it's his life, and it's fine. She stopped, pressed her lips together. "I just don't have a lot of people, Marcus." It was the first time in 14 months that either of them had said something that wasn't about Lily or schedules or fractions or dinosaurs. It landed somewhere in the center of him and stayed there. "You have people here," he said. She glanced at him. He didn't clarify. He didn't say me, and he didn't say us, and he didn't say any of the things that were suddenly crowding against the inside of his chest like water against a dam. But something shifted in the kitchen. Something quiet and irreversible. "I should finish the homework check," Claire said. "Claire." She looked back at him from the doorway. "For what it's worth," he said slowly, "Lily isn't the only one who's glad you're here on Tuesdays." The silence lasted 3 seconds. 4. Long enough that he felt the full weight of what he'd almost said, and what he hadn't. Then she smiled, the real one, the one that reached her eyes. And something in his chest unwound slightly. "I'll remember that," she said. She went back to Lily. He stood in the kitchen for another minute, hand on the counter, looking at nothing. "You almost said it," he told himself. "You almost said her name." He didn't say it that Tuesday, but the following week he knocked on his own living room doorway at 5:15, while Claire was reading to Lily on the couch, and he said, "I was going to order from that Thai place on Lakeview, if you wanted to stay." Claire looked at Lily. Lily looked at Claire. Some unspoken agreement passed between them that he was not entirely part of. "The one with the mango salad?" Claire asked. "Yeah." "Okay," she said, simply, like it wasn't something, like it was the most natural thing in the world. He ordered from the Thai place. They ate at the kitchen table, all 3 of them, and Lily talked about Ankylosaurus for 11 minutes straight, and Claire argued, genuinely argued, that the Stegosaurus had underappreciated tactical advantages, and Marcus laughed so hard he knocked over his water glass. It was the best Tuesday he'd had in 4 years. He still hadn't said her name out loud. But he was starting to think, for the first time in a long time, that maybe he would. Some things don't need to be rushed. Some feelings just need enough Tuesday evenings to finally find their words.